Hey guys, Andy here. I am still alive. I am still here. So this video is one that I've been thinking about doing for quite a long time, to be fair. And I just thought, you know what, let's get it. I've not done a video for, it feels like forever. Let's just get one out there. It's about, as you will know from the title, the video services you can subscribe to in the UK. Because I do subscribe to most of them, or between my family we do. And I thought, so I'll give like a bit of a summary, maybe help out some people decide which one they should use. And also actually just go through a lot of TV shows that I can recommend. So if you are on the service and I mention a show you've not watched, you might want to check them out. So let's go. I'm going to start off with going through a few sort of facts and figures and things. I found the Media Nations report, which was done in August of 2021, which is about UK sort of TV and streaming services and things like that. At the same time, a lot of the facts and figures, they refer to 2020. And I feel like it all moves so quick in the video streaming services that a lot of it might not be that relevant now or that accurate now. But in 2020, each individual in the UK watched on average 5 hours and 40 minutes of TV. That's up 47 minutes on the year before. I think that was just regular TV, not streaming services. Viewing of subscription video on demand, SVOD, such as Netflix, Amazon Prime, almost doubled in 2020 to an estimated 1 hour and 5 minutes per person per day. So yeah, the first number was any TV. In 2020, over an hour every day on average per person. SVOD services were used by 60% of all UK households in Q3 2020, up from 49% a year earlier. 79% of TV households have a TV connected to the internet. Over half of TV is still live or recorded live and then played back, if that makes sense. Netflix is just ahead of iPlayer in the UK, but it's close. And obviously the difference between Netflix is the paid, the SVOD, whereas iPlayer is the broadcaster video on demand, BVOD. And then when you get to content, it's actually quite interesting. Amazon has the most content, but them and Netflix are far and away ahead of the others, which you'll see when I start listing some of the TV shows. So we'll start with Netflix. Some of the sort of benefits of Netflix right off the bat is its compatibility. You get Netflix on pretty much anything. A lot of TVs, I just put my remote away. A lot of remotes these days, Netflix paid to have a Netflix button on there. I mean, it's actually quite handy. I don't often use it though. You can get 4K. There's a variety of subscription options. If it's just you or if it's more than you and you want 4K, you can, I think, actually I forget what we're paying now. Maybe it's 15 or 17 pounds a month now because we have up to 4 users and up to 4K. I think its biggest benefit is just the quantity of its original content, as well as its sort of other content that they just own the rights to. So I'm going to go through a few of the original shows. Orange is the New Black, the prison-based or women's prison-based drama, really very good. The Crown, I've not actually watched, but I know it's big, so I threw it on the list. Stranger Things, a little spooky, kids in the 80s America, and it's very nostalgic for 80s. We lose it a little bit being American and we're in the UK, but it's still really very good TV. Mindhunter was very good. I watched that last year. Bridgerton, I've not seen, but again, I know is very big. It's one of their most watched shows. Ozark, season 4 just aired. Very good. It's quite sort of, what's the word? It's quite dark, I suppose. It's a little bit Breaking Bad, but in some ways a bit darker. The Witcher, which is based off the books or the game. I forget which came first. Quite good. Not amazing, but quite good. Narcos, really very good. There's Narcos original and Narcos Mexico, is it? It's just about sort of the war on drugs back in the 80s. But very good TV. You, that's quite dark. It's basically about a stalker. The main character is a sort of bit of a mental nutcase stalker. There's quite a bit of blood and guts and things in that. Quite honestly, there's too many to list of the original content and the films. Like I read somewhere a couple of years back, they were releasing a film every week, and it seems to be on a similar pace. So other content they have that's very good. Breaking Bad, for me, still the best TV show you can watch. Better Call Saul, a bit slow, but not bad. An off-run or prequel to Breaking Bad. Homeland, again, one of the best TV shows I think you can see. There's about 8 seasons, it's all done, it's all wrapped up, so go ahead and watch that if you haven't seen it. Really, very good. Just about kind of the war on terror, I suppose, in America. Power, very good. Another American show about sort of drug dealers and drug barons and drug kingpins, I suppose, but yeah, really, very good. If you like a comedy, Netflix has got you covered. Friends, the US version of The Office, Kim's Convenience, if you might not have heard of that, and Superstore, both very good. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you've probably heard of. And I feel like I have to mention Squid Game. I haven't watched it. It doesn't really sound like my kind of TV show, but obviously loads of hype about that. So Netflix, I mean, personally, I think you can't go far wrong. If you're telling me there's nothing good on Netflix, you're just looking in the wrong places. It's simple as that. There's so much good content on there. Then on to Amazon, which, as we saw, is the other sort of big player. And in some ways its benefit is that it's just latched onto Prime. So I've paid for Prime for I don't know how long, and now all of a sudden I've just got TV bundled in with it. Yeah, why not? But I don't watch so much on Prime, really, to be honest. It does have a huge catalogue, and some of its original stuff, The Grand Tour, which, I mean, that's the old Top Gear crew on Amazon. The Marvellous Mrs. Maisel, I've not seen. The Man in the High Castle, that's very good. That's like an alternative, what would have happened if the Americans hadn't won the Second World War. And I think it's really very well done. It's based on a book, I think, and it's very good. Clarkson's Farm, I watched that last year. I keep wanting to say this year, end of last year, and that was surprisingly good actually. I mean, I do like Jeremy Clarkson, but it's just very interesting as well. Him trying to be a farmer, but he's actually trying, and he's making quite a balls up of it. But other stuff you might like: Vikings, The Walking Dead, Mr. Robot. Mind you, Mr. Robot, I watched season 1 and kind of lost interest in it. And The Walking Dead, that's up to about season 18 or something. I lost interest around season 15, but it's still pretty good. I'm going to move on now to Disney Plus, which for me is kind of the dark horse almost. I've been really impressed with Disney Plus. My brother basically subscribed, but now we've got a family one. I think it only costs, was it £50? No, I think it's 70 or 80, much like the others for the year. So obviously you get Disney content, but you also get Marvel content. You get movies on release day, if you're prepared to pay the £30 or whatever. I mean, it's good to have the option. I mean, I wouldn't. And in I forget if it's 4 weeks or a month, 30 days, they make it free to anyone. I mean, that's pretty impressive, I think. And whilst there is a ridiculous amount of kids stuff, so if you have children, this is almost a no-brainer. There's actually a lot of adult content. Well, I shouldn't say adult content, it makes it sound like something else. I mean, content for adults. I think it's called Star. It's a load of different companies that Disney own. They've thrown all their content on there. So some of the shows that I've been watching on there, The Mandalorian, you must have heard about Baby Yoda. It's quite simple, as is the book of Boba Fett, but if you're a Star Wars fan, you'll love them, excuse me. Marvel shows like Loki, WandaVision, Hawkeye, I watched very recently. That was good, I thought. But there's other stuff like Dope Sick, I watched that recently, really good, about the opioid epidemic in America in the start of the century. Atlanta, I've heard lots of good things about. I haven't yet seen it. All the Pixar movies. There's a lot of really good content on Disney Plus that you don't really realise until you start rummaging through. I think my watch list on Disney Plus is much longer than it is on Amazon, for example. Then I'm going to move on to Apple TV Plus, which I had for a year actually, because you might remember if you watched my videos, I bought an iPhone SE a year and a half back, and I think I got free Apple TV with that. But it's a very small catalogue, very small. There is more original content coming out more and more as time goes on, and it tends to be quite high quality content. The Morning Show, I think, is very good. There's 2 seasons of that done now, and that's all about it's about a news station that goes through a scandal. the whole kind of Me Too movement, and people getting cancelled and this, that, and the other. But I thought it's really well done. Ted Lasso, great feel-good comedy. It is about football, as in soccer, English football, done by Americans. An American coach gets brought over. It's the old story. Yeah, we want our team to fail. Oh, let's bring in some American coach. And actually, everyone loves him and he does great. Well, I won't say much more to spoil it, but I don't like football, but I do like Ted Lasso. So don't worry if you're not a football fan. It's just good family fun, really. For All Mankind, that's really interesting. That's the one about if the Americans hadn't kind of given up on, no, if they'd lost the space race, which meant that they then sort of kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing. It's kind of an alternate timeline, and each season seems to jump forward kind of 10 or 15 years. So the next season is due, and it looks like they're going to be on Mars, and it's going to be like just around current times maybe, but we're putting settlements on Mars. It's just really well sort of filmed, directed, acted, and all of that. And then kind of the UK option, well, I say UK option, but Now TV is mainly built on great US shows. I think, I'm not entirely sure because I don't have Sky, but I think it's basically just Sky, but you can pay separately for Now TV. I don't think it's a particularly good app. Most of the others are reasonably good apps. Apple TV I didn't get on so well with. And I don't think Now TV app is too good. And it's 720p unless you pay £5 more a month. And it's already like the most expensive service a month, I think at about £10 a month. So all the others are around £70 or £80 a year, and this one's at about £120 a year, and it's 720p. So that's not a good start. But I won't lie, when I started going through the list of the different shows, like basically the Radio Times, I don't know how I got to it with the Google, but I found one document talking about the streaming services, and in each bit where it talked about the different one, it linked off to one of their other articles about the good shows available on that service. And as I scrolled through the shows on Now TV, I thought, whoa, that probably is worth £15 a month. So I'll go through a few. True Detective, I think there's been 3 seasons of that. First season, fantastic. Second one wasn't so good. Third was a bit better. But we're talking, it's got like Woody Harrelson and another really big name, Matthew McConaughey in season 1. Amazing. The Night Of, I was really impressed by. Guy just wakes up covered in blood or something like that, and then it's just all about his sort of, what happened? Gangs of London, that's quite gruesome, I suppose, but it is all about gangs in London, and it is very good. Succession, you must have heard about Succession. I think season 4 just wrapped up. This is about sort of a TV mogul and his family, and the succession part being like he's getting very old and they're all sort of vying for who's going to take over, and it's all kind of turning on each other and the politics of it all and scandals, and but I think it's really very well written. There's good drama, there's good comedies. It's one of those ones where you're not really sure who you're pulling for because they're all dicks, but it's a very good show. Sopranos, you must know about Sopranos. The Wire, likewise, probably in my top 3, if not that, my top 5 all-time TV shows. Quite slow, but so well written, such good storyline. Chernobyl, reasonably recent show about the Chernobyl nuclear disaster. Billions, quite good. I've forgotten the guy's name, but an actor that you would recognise, the one from Homeland, is investor. It's bigger than that, but I mean, it's called Billions because it's all about like investment and money and billions of pounds, and then the US government trying to sort of catch them doing dodgy things. It's very good. Deadwood, quite old now. Timothy Olyphant playing what he normally plays, the gunslinging cowboy type person back in the late 19th century or something like that. Really very good. Boardwalk Empire, gangsters in Atlantic City, I want to say, and I want to say around the 50s, but I could be wrong. No, maybe it was because maybe it was after the war, maybe it was the 20s even. But yeah, that's really good. I think it's about 5 seasons. Resident Alien, there's a 2nd season coming out today, maybe even. So when you watch this, the 2nd season might be out. And I forget the guy's name. He was in Firefly, ginger-haired guy, bit goofy looking, but he's basically, it's a pretty old story in some ways. He's an alien, kills somebody, takes their body, and he's trying to blend into society. And it sounds a bit cheesy, but actually really works. It's done really well. And I mean, I can't leave this without saying Game of Thrones. I mean, I assume everyone knows about Game of Thrones. A couple of other shows that I haven't seen, but I hear people talking about Grey's Anatomy and Dexter. I mean, the only other service, SVOD was BritBox. I didn't bother going through that, but BritBox I know has all the sort of classic British TV shows and comedies and things. I'm not going to list all of those. So that's waffled on for a lot longer than I meant to, but there's just so much to sort of go through. So for me, Now TV. Some of that content is pretty ridiculous actually, but 720p, I suppose you've got to ask yourself, is that an issue to you? And the price, £10 a month, it's quite a bit. Apple TV Plus, I just don't think they've got the content yet. Maybe in time. Disney Plus, that's the dark horse for me. I think there's some really good stuff on Disney Plus. The app works well. There's good original content. I mean, they've got Star Wars, they've got Marvel. Again, I suppose maybe it's, if you've got kids or if you're a nerd, maybe, then that's probably the one to go for. Amazon, maybe it's just me, because a lot of people do say that they watch more stuff on Amazon than a lot of other services. I don't watch much on Amazon. You might need to do your own research, I suppose, because I was generally looking for shows that I know and I know are good. And if I'm not watching much on Amazon, I've not sold it very well, I suppose. And Netflix is, I just think it's so good. There is so much good content and original content that you're never going to get on other services. So for me, it's between those two, Netflix and Disney Plus, or both of them, because you can get both of them and you're probably less than £20 a month, and you should never be without some good TV to watch. So there we go. I'd love to hear your thoughts too. Put in the comments like which services you subscribe to, first of all, and then which are your favourite shows, because maybe I've missed some, especially if you watch a lot of Amazon. Help my viewers out by naming some of them below. Or just if you agree with me on some of the shows I've listed, I do read all the comments, so please do comment. It's good to be back in front of the lens, even if it's just a quick one-off. I hope everybody is well. I hope everyone's staying safe. I'll maybe do an update on my situation, because I know things are changing for me, and I'm still a bit up in the air, so I can't do too much of an update, but I perhaps will at some point next week or something. But that's it for now. My name's Andy. I'll catch you all again soon.